Hi, seasoners. Happy Sunday. Sunday to me is not a fun day. Nope. Never liked Sundays because you know what comes next. Mondays. Gosh, I'm really trying not to be so boo, like Debbie Downer. Just trying to be real with you. So, anyways, today I want to talk about sex. Reason why I want to talk about this is because I feel in this season of my life, it is the best I've ever experienced, I've ever had, hands down. Even in my 20s, so crazy. But for my women out there who are peri or postmenopause, wherever you're at with the hormone thing, I really suggest that once you hit a certain age and you start to feel a change, that you definitely look into options to help you and don't suffer. I mean, that is just my opinion. I am not a doctor. I don't give any kind of, this is just me. This is just my personal opinion on the matter. After I started, because I put myself into menopause, because I had a hysterectomy so early. I had a hysterectomy in my 20s. So I put myself into menopause fairly quickly. But anyways, that's a whole different video. But after everything got adjusted, bam. It's like a new, I feel like a new woman. Like, I've never experienced, the sexual experience like I've been. So, I don't know. I think it has a lot to do with it, but it could be because of my. It's not a May December romance thing. That is ridiculous. That is so old school saying. Like you would hear that like in the 1950s, I feel. But like we're only. I can think it. What did I say? Like 10 years. I thought it was 9, but I think it's 10. But whatever. I don't feel like there's that much of an age gap. I mean, I can see where there's, I can see where people would say yes, that's a significant amount of time, but if you really think about it, it kind of isn't. I was still young when he was born, so anyways, I don't know if it's because of him being younger in that sense, because here I am with this in my past seasons, when I say seasons, I think like decades probably. Like when I was in my 30s, I did, date younger guys. I've dated probably the 3, 4 younger guys, and the guys in the younger department, I always had better sexual time with. Like it was I'm trying to compare it to something like it was always so passionate. That's the word. It was more passionate. Like I was had more emotion towards it. Like it maybe because like in my experiences with younger guys, they want to make sure that they're doing you good, right? Basically, they want to make sure that they're doing it right and that you're feeling good. So with that comes taking their time, responding to how you communicate with them, how it's making you feel, and they're receptive to that. Whereas older men think, "Oh hell no, I have had the experience. I'm Mr. Ego. You're not going to tell me what to do because I know what to do and I'm going to make you feel good whether you like it or not." That's my experience with either guys my age or older. But my gosh, like the past relationship I was in for 2 years, I don't think I had sex with that man, but maybe a handful of times. And there was just so much. There was just so much with that, the reason why, and and maybe two, because like he had wanted me to not take excuse me, certain hormones, because it would make me put on weight. And I think that really affected me, that too, in that sense, because then I started just getting all crazy. And the fool that I was is I listened to him. So maybe that too backfired on him, because I wasn't sexual. I didn't want to have sex because I wasn't feeling it. So that's on you, bro. Anyways, I'm just saying, I got all my stuff like together, and then when this relationship started, it was very passionate even before we met for the first time. How we would talk to each other on the phone, we would text each other things, um, you know, do all that kind of stuff over the phone before we actually met. And the first time that we met, we did have to meet at a hotel because he drove from where he was at to me, and my current living situation wasn't good for that kind of a meetup, because we already knew like we were probably going to sleep with each other, right? We just had that connection. So we did, and it was something that for me, in my all my experiences in the past, I've never felt before, because the connection. And I'm gonna tell you, it wasn't the connection. It wasn't because it was feeling good, blah blah blah, like that kind of stuff. It was like the connection that I had with him, because how he had been treating me, how he had been talking to me, how he had been expressing his feelings to me, really gave me that foundational support. Well, the emotional support, I guess, to know like this is real. This, he's not just here for the hookup. He's just not a wham bam thank you ma'am kind of person. Like that, he's genuine. I had to know him on that level before we met, but when we met, there was so much passion already, just verbally, that when the physical passion just fell into place. And let me tell you, in this relationship, we're going on 6 months, soon, in a couple weeks. I've probably with him, this is the most sex I've ever had in a relationship, even when I was married. I can be straight up with you, honest with that. So I do feel like, yeah, in the different seasons, like our 20s, like I'm just gonna say, we might just be effing around, casually, just casual, because that's just kind of the how it leads up in life. You're just casually dating in your early 20s, whatever, and then you get into your 30s, and then depending, like, where you're at. Are you still married? Like, if you're still married and you're in that married life and you have had that perfect experience from your 20s to present, and you've been with that partner and it's been magical. I mean, I have family members that are like that, and that I love it for them. I absolutely love it. I kind of live through them vicariously in that aspect of, if it would have stayed, if that marriage would have lasted, this would be what we would potentially be doing. I live vicariously through that. Okay, cool, but that's not where my life path took me. So my life path took me, you're going to experience a teenage pregnancy. You're going to experience a young marriage that doesn't last past 10 years. You're going to, like, I was given these experiences and I'm living them right now. So with that said, like, the whole sex thing, like, with him now, like, kind of coming back to that, like, that, like, I know, like, he's supposed to be coming, like, this afternoon. And I know we will at least have that time at least 3 to 4 times before tomorrow. That is just how passionate we are with each other. And I guess TMI with this, but when we're in the middle of it, like, the kissing is the best part. We will both agree. And side note, if you guys want, like, me to have an interview with him and we can talk about stuff like that, with the age difference and the sexual feelings and stuff, let me know. Drop me comments. But anyways, the kissing for both of us is like magical. I don't know what it is because I've never kissed another man like this or a person like this, but we're very in sync with how we kiss. We know how each other move. We know what we like to be touched, what to touch, what not to touch. And when we're in that moment, it's like, it's just every time, I guess every time that we have, it's always been, oh my God, that was the greatest. Afterward, oh my God, that blew my mind. Like there's always that comment, one of those, something to say about that time. And I'm not just saying it because, we're great people in bed. I'm just saying what we feel between each other is absolutely crazy. And I would want that for the women out there who are struggling in that department, or struggling to have a relationship that you want to be sexual in, because maybe you are at a level in your time and health that you just don't feel that. You don't feel sexual, but you have to please your man, and all these other things start going through your head, and you're like, shoot, if I don't, he's gonna go cheat on me. I'm just saying, like, start medical wise, but oh my gosh, once you get right within your balance within yourself, I'm telling you, sex can be so good. Again, for me, it's with a younger person. I don't know. It just, they seem to be more, like I said, willing to learn from you in a way. I mean, I don't want to be like, oh, he's going to take this to his next relationship, but if you really think about it, that's why younger men date older women, and they get that experience. They get to learn what women want. So when they progress through life, they've had that experience. They know what we want because some older woman showed him. Great, But anyway, I'm just saying, for me personally, I crave it, I anticipate it, I want it, because man, there's something there. And I think it just has to be, maybe we're just so in tune emotionally, mentally, that when we get physical, it all comes together and there's that explosion. But I want to say I'm so happy now at this point in my life, because I've wanted this. I've wanted a solid, concrete relationship, to know that there's something that's going to be building off of it. Not just companionship, because I know in a couple months or whatever, we're both going separate ways. No. I did that for the last 2 years. No, thank you. But just for the sexual educational purposes of this video, just know that there can be great sex even into our 40s, 50s, wherever you're at. We're still sexual human beings. We still want it. We still need it. We still crave it. And I think it's healthy. But anyways, I mean, I could have gotten really more deep into it, but we'll see. We'll see how this goes, and see what everyone, wants to talk about, because I can go many different avenues. Okay, guys, well, the week's going to be starting here soon. We got this. Leave me a comment, subscribe to my channel. We'll get through each and every day. Bye.